What's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again to the Growth Network, where we grassroots our wealth, tradition, and heritage. As always, be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. When you subscribe, hit that notification bell so every time I drop a video, you'll be the first to know about it. Today, we're going to talk about something that years ago, you never thought was possible. You thought something wrong with this man. 40-year-old man still staying with his parents. Now, years ago, you truly could talk about a person, rag on them, rank on them. If you heard about a guy who was 40 years old, still staying with his parents, especially in our community. That's because we don't understand how the world works, but again, years ago, you'd had a good reason to sit there and talk bad about the dude, but this guy is turning 40. Staying with his parents, and particularly ain't his fault. Particularly ain't his fault. But let's get into it. This is a article off of Yahoo.com, and it reads: Meet a millennial who is turning 40, starting yet another new career, and has $47,000 in debt. He's quoted as saying, "I've worked very hard, and it didn't pay off. It feels very unfair." Of course, it's unfair, young man. You did everything you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? You went to school, went to the military. I'm kind of going to jump ahead of myself. Work some jobs. I don't know if you got any kids and anything like that, but shoot, life has been unfair to you in this country. But let's see how unfair it is. Now, this story comes February 20th, and it reads: Charles Bryan is turning 40 next month, but in some ways his career path feels like he's just graduated from high school again. He's nowhere near where he expected to be at this point in his life. A New York native now living in Delaware, I'm sure the cost of living in Delaware is probably better than New York. Bryan was working as a hotel manager when the pandemic shut down operations. He had to furlough 36 out of the hotel's 40 employees. And the property turned into a temporary homeless shelter during the pandemic. So it wasn't making no money. But when the brother being a manager, they probably didn't even care. Now, if it was a 5-star hotel, like, what's that thing that's in New Orleans, it's across the street from the casino, something like that, I guarantee it wouldn't have been no homeless shelter. Anyway, after taking a pay cut for a while, he eventually left. The pandemic halted all the positive momentum I had built professionally in the 10 years prior. Amazing. Living with his parents and living off savings and stimulus checks, Bryan continued to look around for opportunities. He even got a real estate license, but the leads were slow to materialize. Finally, October 2021, Bryan secured a job as an operations manager for a major retailer. Now, look at this last paragraph. It says living off savings and stimulus checks. I remember, I always got to throw my story in there. Going to school to get my degree. Yeah, I can remember it was hard, because at the time when I started out, it was hard to find work. It's hard to find work to make money, to pay bills, to earn a decent living. But I knew I had to sacrifice because I had to look at the bigger picture. I saw the plan. I saw how everything would have to be. I saw the sacrifices I was going to have to make because I had 2 kids. And I'm like, my kids are getting older and they're going to want stuff. And I'm supposed to be the one to provide for them. That's the way I saw it. I'm like, at first I was working, job in the warehouse and got piss ass raises. At first it was good when you're 18, 19 years old. You started like big money. Back then, like I said, living in a 1-bedroom apartment, all bills paid, it was great. Even moving up to a 2-bedroom apartment, it wasn't as bad. But as time went on and the raises got smaller and smaller and the cost of living got increased more, I'm like, I gotta do something different. So I knew that, hey, if I'm gonna do something different, I'm gonna go ahead and take this chance, get out here and sacrifice, struggle for a few years so that I can live well for the rest of my life. That's how you gotta look at it. Because now you don't wanna be, I'm not talking about this guy, but you don't wanna be 40. It's talking about what you should have done at 20, at 30. You see what I'm saying? Now, there's a possibility you can do everything you're supposed to do. And still at 40, like this young brother here, things can happen that's beyond your control. When that happens, can't nobody knock you. But as long as you are doing what you're supposed to do and things happen, you know what I'm saying, then you still have that drive. I mean, you'll still kind of have that drive to keep doing it. But if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, and you're 40 years old and can't take care of yourself or your kids, your family, man, that's on you. That there is on you. It say you got a real estate license, and I know it was the time, like I said, living off savings and stimulus checks. I remember living off student loans, living off 401k, living off credit cards, and shoot, it was rough, but I did what I felt I had to do at the time. They say, he said he got a real estate license, and I know, shoot, I thought about doing real estate, but that's, when you talk, I talk to people that's in real estate. When I thought about doing that, inspection, even like home inspections. It was this. I don't want to say it was this clique, like a clique. It's like a fraternity of people who, those that have been in the business for a while, they get the best leads. The newcomers, they don't get, they don't get a whole lot of good leads. They got to start off small, and then, most of the seasoned people, they get first deals on everything. So I know a few people who got into real estate and got out because of that. I know some people who made a living. Matter of fact, the lady sold my first house. She told me, she put me on the game on all of it. So that's why I kind of dipped my toe in it. But then I was like, nah, I need something that's going to be, more stable. So I sat back and said, let me figure something out. And the idea and the plan didn't come overnight, but once it hit, man, I was running. But anyway, it says now Brian, a military veteran who has held jobs in several industries over the years, is starting over on a completely new career path yet again. I'm not above water yet, but I feel like I can see the light at the surface, Brian said after landing the job he has now. But the struggle over the last 2 decades to eke out a career has taken its toll. I was one of those guys who had a 5-year, 10-year plan. See, like I said, the guy had a plan. Once you put a plan in place and you move forward, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But it's better to try and to see what happens than to sit there, and not do nothing, and then, like I said, the rest of your life ain't doing shit with it. I wanted to be in a certain place, Brian said. Everyone, he says, dreams of growing up and owning a home with 2.5 kids and a dog. The reality of being divorced and living with his parents is troubling to him. Wonder why he got a boy. I'm sure that hurts. I've had some really cool dogs. I had a couple of nice houses, but I haven't been able to maintain that, and I don't have anything of my own. I probably lost it when he got divorced. Divorce is because why a lot of dudes ain't getting divorced. Ain't getting married nowadays. I've had to either sell, sacrifice, or lose just to kind of stay afloat to get to this point. That's not the American dream, people. That's because with the American dream, that's not what we were sold. That's not what it's about. I followed the rules that they gave us. I played the game and went to school, and I did very well. Every job I worked very hard, and it didn't pay off. Brian says, it feels very unfair. And that's true. But it's one of them things that you have to catch early. Like I said, I worked in the warehouse, for 10 years. Started at 18. And there's time, and there was a reason why I worked that long. It wasn't just because I felt like it was a plan in place. And once, the plan was in motion, and then once different steps came, I quit to go to the next plan. But then there was something just hit and knocked everything off track. So I was stuck out there, stuck out there in the water by myself. But eventually, it's like I said, eventually it paid off. But I did the same thing, worked at a job, stayed out of trouble, try to work every day, good weather, bad weather, sick or not, doing what I need to do. And you make production, you do it, all that stuff, and then it comes down to your review, and you get a little funky 2% raise, and you wonder, like, what the hell did I do wrong? But as you get older, you start to realize that there is a system in place, started with like the Federal Reserve, and those people who create the interest rates, who control the interest rates and things of that nature, and the prices of stuff. And you find out that they tell everybody it's a moratorium on raises. Inflation is going to go up 4%, so your raises go up to average 4%. So which means if I'm getting 2.5, that means somebody's getting 5. But it ain't my black ass. So, like I said, once you start to educate yourself and understand how this world works, then you start making moves take care of yourself. And that's what I did. To the point when I quit a job, I had a supervisor say, man, you never wanted overtime and you could take off work with no vacation time. I always wonder how you did that. I'm saying, like, why the hell you in my pocket in the first place? But I prepared myself for that because I saw what was going on and I knew what I wanted. So I saw what I had and I learned how to work with it. Didn't sit there talking about woe is me, I ain't making a lot of money, y'all ain't giving me no raises. I'm doing that. Plus, I'm making plans to get away from you guys and to do something better. And the rest is history. Story continues. The pandemic hit millennials' career hard, and the impact and recovery has been particularly difficult for Black Americans like Bryant. The problem is, it's not the first setback this cohort has experienced. Older millennials, those born from 1981 to 1989, have experienced a number of pivotal events that have left their adult careers and finances more vulnerable, including 9/11, the financial crisis of 2008, and the Great Recession, and now the COVID pandemic. The whole period of uncertainty over the past couple of years has just kind of been the icing on a really bad cake. It's been tough, Brian said. After graduating high school in 2000, Brian attended the University of North Carolina, Greensboro, but left school before graduating. He joined the military and served in both Iraq and Afghanistan from 2006 to 2012. See, I like reading these stories, but then I'm the type of person that I want to know all the details. You know, because it says that he was divorced. So I want to know what happened? You know, why did you get divorced? And when you got divorced, what it cost you? How much did the divorce cost you compared to the job choices that you made in order to, to live, the career choices that you made? What caused you to move back? Say you moved back with your parents. How long have you been living with your parents? What caused you to move back with your parents? Was it a divorce? Was it because you lost? Because your job wasn't paying no money and you had to end up quitting and you trying to do something different? You know what I'm saying? I'm the kind of, I be want to know all the details because that's the best way other people can learn from your story. This here is more like a woe is me pity story. I mean, I'm not gonna talk bad about the dude, I'm not, because I understand what he's going through because we see, like, I know I went through issues. I can tell you, I tell you stories, Everything's going good, divorce happened. And like I said, I go into details about, divorce and child support, court and all that kind of stuff. And it's just, it happens. You know what I'm saying? But again, like I said, if you used to making plans and you used to making sacrifices and you know what you got to do in the future to survive, minor setbacks will piss you off, but you'll learn how to get over it, man. It's unfortunately, Brian's experience is not atypical. In 2010, during the height of the Great Recession, 17.2% of those aged 2024 were out of work. I remember that. It was around about 9/11. I was out of work. And, it wasn't it was kind of by choice, but not by choice. Because I was trying to get back to work and I couldn't find a job. But anyway, that unemployment had long-term consequences with the Center of American Progress estimated that the younger workers lost out on $21.4 billion in earnings over the next 10 years, or about $22,000 less per person. Millennial wages continue to be stagnant for years. Remember wages like right now in Texas, $7.25? After that, even once employment rates recover. In fact, millennials earn about 20% less than baby boomers did the same age. We're talking about inflation and stuff like that. Despite being a better educated generation overall, according to a 2019 report from the nonpartisan think tank New America. But you got these people keep hollering, I'm educated, I got degrees, I'm a PhD. You know what I'm saying? But yet, you got no money. It seems like every 5 to 6 years we kind of get back to that above water phase, or at least seeing the surface of that water, and then something just drags us back down. Then it says he got debt, what did it say? Brian went back to school for marketing in 2015 and wrapped up his coursework in 2019. That kind of turned into a whole bunch more debt, he said. Despite taking advantage of the GI benefits, he still had nearly $42,000 in outstanding student loan. I feel your pain, Brian. Trust me, I feel your pain. He has another $2,700 in credit card debt. Overall, the average millennial carries about $28,317 in debt, not including mortgages, according to Experience 2021 State of Credit Report which classifies millennials as those born between 1982 and 1995. Let's say, when including mortgages, millennials' total debt averages about $255,000. It said, yet like Brian, many millennials aren't homeowners. Brian is currently living with his parents, but keeping an eye out for a place of his own. In fact, the home prices are skyrocketing, and the support and supply of homes that hit a record low isn't helping much. There's very little to offer in the ways of affordable housing around here, even at the salary I'm at right now. Brian adds, while making about $70,000, Brian said, in the grand scheme of things, it's really just a living wage, and it's true. He's up there in Delaware. I'm down here in Texas. $70,000 is like a living wage. It really is. They said, of course, not all millennials are struggling, but at $70,000, you shouldn't be struggling. That's the thing about it. At $70,000, man, you should be set. You should have enough money to be able to save, take vacations, live in a nice house. You got your little family, or even if you buy yourself a nice loft, big size loft, or whatever. Yeah, you get your own house, you living by yourself. $7,000. You should be financially set without any issues, but that's not the way this country is going right now. Right now, everybody's struggling. Like I say, the guy's at age 40, he's tried different career paths, which is what you do. I mean, that's another thing about life, that you say you play the rules, but really, dude, you're playing rules of a game you know nothing about, because they telling you to do something, but actually you're playing a whole different game. They're telling us to go to school, get an education, get a college degree, or if not, go to the military, the GI Bill. There used to be a bunch of commercials about the GI Bill and stuff back in the 90s. Go get your GI Bill, help you get a house, pay for college, all that kind of stuff. And you'll be set for life. Man, I worked at the VA hospital. I seen a lot of folk doing bad. I mean, looking bad. They ain't worth it, man. What they offer and what they, what they promise you and what they offer are two different things, and it's ridiculous. There's no comparison. Like I said, it's not even worth it. You can holler that, oh, be patriotic and fight for your country and all that shit, but man, like I said, they ain't looking out for you. There's a lot of homeless veterans, a lot of veterans on drugs, a lot of veterans who ride around a motorized wheelchair because they have no limbs. A lot of veterans, got all kind of medical problems. A lot of veterans pissed off at the government because the VA hospital ain't doing what they claimed it was going to do, and they ain't treating it right. So you got veterans who don't go to the VA hospital. They rather go to a regular hospital. But again, like I said, you playing the game, and you got rules, but the rules are not, they're giving you rules for basketball, but when you step out from behind the locker room, you come out and you're on the football field. And you're playing against the LA Rams. They gave you rules to play high school basketball. And you perfect in high school basketball, oh yeah, because of what they told you, but like I said, by the time you realize what's really going on, it's too late. And they're about to kill you. And that's the way, like I say, it's going. But like I say in other videos, education is first. Get educated on how the system works. Get educated on how your money works in the system. And then create a plan in order for you to survive this system and to increase and improve on a daily basis. And not to stay stagnant, because everything is changing. One thing is for certain, you can guarantee that change is gonna happen. No matter what goes on in life, the sun gonna come tomorrow and the world gonna change. And as long as you sit there and don't do nothing, you can sit there and look at that same spot tomorrow and be like, I don't believe the sun gonna come up. And you sit there and in a few hours you see that sun gonna come up. You're like, oh man, I can't believe it. Okay, well it won't come up tomorrow. And you look and it just keeps happening. That's the way it seems like a lot of our people are doing when it comes to what this world is doing. It's like, yeah, the sun gonna come up and it's gonna always be a change. It's like, dang, it's gonna be a change. Then I need to do, I need to do something. So like I said, get your education, get your money right, get your kids' education right, so when they get older, they can have a chance to survive this world. But anyway, let me get out there, run this long enough. Tell me what you think about this story. Tell me what your little, some stuff you've been through. I'll leave it in the comment box below. Like I say, if you want to help support the channel, you can always donate, or you can go to my website, buy some merchandise, exchange, tangible exchange. A lot of people like that. If you want to start your own YouTube channel, click on that TubeBuddy link, sign up. It's a great way for you to start out on YouTube. It gives you like the hot topics, the hashtags, the stuff you need to know, the keywords to use in order to find the hot stories of the day. So that way, increase your viewership, that's what it's all about. And with that being said, thank y'all for tuning in. And I'll see y'all on the other side. Peace.